Former Australian fast bowler Dirk Nannes has revealed his suspicions about spot fixing during his time in the Bangladesh Premier League as it emerged that the International Cricket Council would send investigators to Australia as part of its probe into the game's latest corruption scandal. The ICC anti-corruption chief Alex Marshall signalled on Friday that it would take several weeks to interview witnesses and try and corroborate and cross-check the explosive allegations made by two alleged Indian fixers in a report by British tabloid The Sunday. Former Indian state cricketer Sobhas Jobber and Priyak Saxena, described as a bookmaker and businessman, said in secretly recorded video in Delhi and Dubai that they could arrange for parts of the third Ashes Test in Perth as well as Big Bash League games to be fixed using a figure they called the Silent Man, who had connections with current and former internationals and had players working for him as puppets. They claimed that a former Australian cricketer and an Australian administrator had passed on information on games in the BBL that could be sold, and that 3 to 4 games in the upcoming 2020 tournament would be fixed. Marshall has said that there was no evidence, based on his review of a dossier provided by The Sun, that the third test was corrupted. However, he said a thorough investigation would take place into all the allegations throughout different competitions and countries. The ICC Anti-Corruption Unit already has an Australian-based investigator, John Rhodes, who has been at the Waker during the match, and while he is set to lead their inquiries here, it is expected that other members of their team will join him. Cricket Australia Chief Executive James Sutherland addressed the Australian team after the first day of the third test on Thursday and has said he has full confidence in our players. Jobber and Saxena also boasted in the paper's report that they could arrange fixes on the Indian Premier League and the Bangladesh Premier League, saying they could provide full scripts for the latter for £175,000, $305,000. Nannes, who played 18 limited overs game for Australia, revealed on Friday that during his stint in the BPL, an event that began in 2012, he had suspected that spot fixing was rife. There were a few games I watched on television when I played in the Bangladesh Premier League, and you could hear the players on the ground yelling at the batsmen because you saw it was flat out wrong. The security guys knew it, the guys on the ground knew it, everybody knew it, Nannes told ABC Grandstand. The Bangladesh Premier League, that was the interesting one. The first time there were owners had come along. The owners weren't allowed on the ground, but there would be a team manager going to the owner and saying, "What are we doing next?" then going to the coach. The security guys were saying enough was enough. But it just kept going on. The owners were sitting there on the phone. The owners were demanding that they be in constant touch with the coach because that's why they bought the team. The spotters were people up in the crowd,